Department. Discharge the duties of my office. Officer. Discharge the duties of my office. Officer. Mission, purpose, and policy. Mission, goal, purpose, policy of the Medina Police Department. I pledge to promote and protect the interests of the village of Medina. For fiscal responsibility, honesty, integrity, and loyalty. Honesty, integrity. I will never allow personal feelings or danger to myself. Deter me from my responsibility. I will at all times. Respect the property rights of all persons. The laws of my state and country. And members with whom I serve. I recognize the badge of my office. That symbol of public faith and trust. I will accept so long as I remain true to the ethics of police service. I do solemnly swear that I possess all qualifications required. Obligation as my responsibility. And these promises. Solemnly, freely, and honestly.
You can wait for the time. So now I'm going to go sit up front. You can sit with me.
Thank you, right, people.
Okay, let's go on with the second part of our meeting.
I swear to right side. She can sit up there. We're lucky she's not sitting right there.
That'd be perfect.
She did say she wants to hit the gavel at times.
We ought to have.
I have one on my desk at home.
Yeah.
You never know. What's that? I have a gavel on my desk at home. Keep myself in order. It's very tempting. It's very tempting.
Mine is just soft.
Okay, so this is
That's fine.
similar to what we did at the quarterly report. This is mid-year report for where we are with our general fund and, you know, and where our, from. So it's these things with us also and answer any questions. So we'll just do what we did last time and just go through things line by line, or do you want to start with something else, Jada?
I think I'll update everyone where you are with the cash. I did do
Okay, I
a,
guess we have to hold on.
For the four of you who are left, you could probably just line up here and hear us better.
Well, how we got it?
Yeah, I mean, if there's,
I mean, do we want the microphones?
I genuinely think there's like enough, that they could literally come to the table. I think it would be fine.
Well, we're fine.
Yeah, I mean, if we get a big crowd in here, we can reevaluate, but if you guys need to slide up, I think that's
Well, we
fine.
got in trouble before.
Oh, they came before, they know what they're up to.
Okay, Jada, start again.
so I was evaluating our, general fund cash. Right now you have approximately 2.8 million. I did take into consideration payments we're gonna be mailing out next week, which was around 241,000. That includes the purchase of the dump truck, Jason's gonna be getting. For your general fund, you have approximately 2.8 million. Your water fund, you have approximately 1.5 million. And then your sewer fund is around 667,000.
So with the general fund, you're saying you took that into consideration, meaning that you took out that 241,000.
I did, yep.
I think you've been doing a good job this year with the investments. We've had better returns than we've had in the past.
It's good to see that interest when we haven't seen it like that before.
Yeah.
I did a quick analysis on the revenues. You have gotten in the majority of your revenues. We should receive, we have our taxes coming back from Orleans County. We'll get those in April. You know, we had a good auction that actually was double what I budgeted. I put in 20,000 and we're just shy of 40. Overall, this is a little conservative. I anticipate around a million, maybe 1.2, depending on how everything comes in. I'm not 100% sure how the ambulance is going to be looking. It's been coming in very well this year. I've talked to MedX and I'm trying to kind of gauge. This year is definitely looking better than prior years. So we're trying to figure out, you know, what the difference is this year. If it's more calls or different types of pay.
So what are we looking at, looking better than previous years for ambulance?
The revenue.
Right, but are we right around, are we like 200,000 ahead of where we thought we were going to be or something like
Yes,
that?
the deposits are definitely coming in much better. And I did ask Lynette and Wendy to kind of look into it, to give me an analysis on it. She said when we go to budget, she would definitely look at the last 3 years of revenue as opposed to having one really good year.
We are up 300 calls over last year though, so I'm sure that accounts for a lot of it.
So that again?
We're about 300 calls over last year. I believe.
Oh, You did say calls. I heard dollars and I was like, I can't make that make sense.
No,
But
it would not make sense.
when you said it the second time, I
That's
remember.
calls, about 300 calls over, so.
Mhm.
Does Steve have that data? Are we getting more like payers, was, or might it just be, we had customers that had insurance opposed to non-payers? We don't track that data?
We do, but that's through MedX too, because they're the ones who, we have to go through them for the billing and
But
they would have that
Didn't we
data.
see a number though, like, our total billing and then how much we received of that, percentage is our, so if it's our percentage that went up, we just had people with better insurance.
That comes through
I was
MedX,
looking
right?
at it and I was wondering why, what changed it. Like Debbie said, the 300 extra calls. And I don't know if that would warrant.
Well,
where
the
we're at.
insurance thing too.
Yeah.
Pay, direct pay.
That did change, so I'm not sure if that's part of it, where the checks are going right to MedX as opposed to the individual. I've asked a few times to get an analysis, so hopefully we'll have something here soon.
Did we ever track that? Like how many people were getting paid direct and not paying their bill in return? Did we ever know what that number was, or didn't we have to look at that?
It's on
I don't
there.
think so. I don't.
I didn't bring my MedX
I didn't
folder
bring mine either.
with me. I'll,
Neither.
No biggie. I was just
we
curious
you
on.
weren't at the MedX meeting,
No.
right? So I'll get that information to you.
That might be on there, and I think they know
Hmm.
who gets the money.
Go knock on their door.
So that's all I have on the revenues, unless anyone has any questions.
Take a couple minutes and just. look
So
through
this
again.
this 188 is what we're still owed by the county.
Correct. Then we'll get 9% on top of that for penalties. I mean, depending on how ambulance revenue goes. If we could see a little bit better return on the revenues, I'm just not sure at this point.
So we're halfway through the year with these right here, with 1/4, right?
That's through December, so we have 5 months left.
5 months left. So we anticipated getting $1,250,000. Okay, so 1.2 million. And we're over $1 million already. So we have 5 months to go. Like, I know we can't predict, but we're looking much better. And so
Okay, I think your revenues look good.
Didn't we have a carryover though from last year for the billing on our first payment? Wasn't there something that we talked about why that our fund was up initially?
Right, so we get 2 payments a month from MedX. There is one payment that the auditors may charge to the prior fiscal year. I have discussed that with them, so there is like 50,000 in there that may end up going to the prior fiscal year.
Okay.
I'll discuss that when they come out.
And there's quite a few receipts in here that we did not budget for, so it's kind of over and above.
which, are you looking at the revenue still?
Right,
So-
right, like, so everywhere you see like parentheses around the number and you don't see anything in the budget,
That's more.
yeah, that's
That's to the plus,
right.
right?
Yeah, prior year expenditure, 39,000. What was it? Just out of curiosity, do you remember? Refund of
Oh,
prior
yes,
year's
I did look at
expenditure.
that before we came. The snow and ice payment was way behind. So the majority of that is snow and ice. And then some of it was the workman's comp payments that came in.
For the
Right.
insurance recoveries?
Yes. The majority of that was snow and ice. I think we're back on track though. We had a little transition.
When do we get the money from the towns for the ambulance?
Now, we've already gotten one.
Oh, you do?
Looking at the water and sewer, I think we're gonna be, I looked at, projections on what's remaining on the routes that we haven't built yet. Um, I think water is gonna be pretty close. There might be maybe 10 to 15,000 over, in the metered sales. I did not consider any of the categories at this point. And then in your sewer, I actually think your sewer is gonna be 425,000 more coming in. A lot of that does have to do with the sewer capital that we have. But again, your sewer fund it needs a boost, so that's gonna be looking better, I think, by the end of the year.
Yeah, it looks like we might be quite a bit over in the water.
I have 565,000, I
Oh, I
have,
just did the metered sales.
yeah. Mhm. Yeah, so maybe 50, 60,000. Mhm. If you look at, when we're talking about revenues, if you look at your open book New York, the fund balance has increased. I believe we're about at 13% for your unassigned, so we're looking better there. Your fund balance says between 6 and 20%.
And we're at 13, you said?
And that's just the unassigned. That's on page 3.
I barely had a chance to look at this since it came out.
So your top categories there, the 800s. At 151,549, that is what we have remaining that we've been saving for an ambulance, and we've also been putting a little bit into the police equipment. The second line is your street repair, and the third line is your electronic fund. Your 900s, that 400,000 is what we put in the budget. The 48,499 are your smaller, like your hometown heroes, your parade of lights, which has been spent down, and your Oxford property maintenance, leaving your unassigned fund balance of just over $1 million.
This is much better.
For sure. Yeah, the sewers increase, that's good. Yeah, they have 25. That's right.
Pay it.
Probably still getting calls. People
We
have
are.
seen it for the first time.
We are.
Is this from when you published or is this available online now?
It's already online.
It's already on, the 2025 figures are there. Yep. All right, thanks. Pull it up.
We have two of the same page. I'm like, I could have sworn I just read this. Okay. Some officers who were here for a few years that we anticipated, yes, they're going to get retro, but they're not going to get as much retro. The officers who were making a higher salary. And then we have new officers who are starting at step one, and, you know, they'll get less retro. It's another, it's just, there's so
Right.
many moving parts. It's hard to project. I wouldn't project 4%.
I was
mean,
figuring in legal though with that too, if I, just for my own personal, just to see where we were gonna fall, you know, sit down.
Right, except legals is separate budget.
Yeah, right, but.
Budget line,
Right, but as a whole, I think we're going over that as well.
yes.
So I just kind of we'll get it here and there. The whole thing, I'm figuring it's gonna be 4 here. But
Well,
I'd rather be
if he has
conservative.
something figured in, when he calculated the 811, say,
yeah,
if he has something in his calculations, which I may have it in my notes, but I don't have my folder, but we could just use that.
So that's a good thing to, I guess, to look at and to figure out.
No, but I like the idea of assigning it into a fund balance, so it's, the money's moved and,
mhm.
especially because it's into year 3.
Jess?
Yeah.
Just to save us all time,
You want the 25, 26 number?
the spreadsheet, will you just send it to us all again? The
Oh, yeah.
spreadsheet that he
Yep.
did, and, you know, we don't have to go through it tonight, but will you? For it,
Yeah, I'll send it right now.
thank you.
So I projected that the police overtime is gonna be 130. Which,
You're right, because we
which might be
jumped into the 120.
less, if we got new guys or whatever, but, I projected 130 and we only budgeted 100,
We budgeted 180.
minus 80.
Oh, mine is 80, that's right.
Yeah, so,
So,
We gotta do this a different,
I know next
I
year.
don't like it.
Next year, so you're gonna have to be more specific, like, I mean, we were a little bit here, but
mhm.
down here where it says 26, you're gonna have to be specific where it comes
Where it's
from
coming.
here. And then I'll just have to adjust each line accordingly.
Yes.
Same thing on point yours.
So why did we, I don't have my notes on me, why did we go from 180 to 100 on the overtime? What were we anticipating?
Bringing the resource officers back, losing 65,000 for officer 130 in revenue, but gaining it on the overtime, which was huge last year.
Yes, got it.
so a suggestion, Jada, if we do that, so next year's budget, if you want to make the changes here, so not to be confused, then it needs to go here, right? And leave this as.
Leave it that side and then.
Yeah, leave that as requested, so we know that there's a change made. Because I think that's important information, but
Yeah, and we could even put it, what it is in red or something, we could change the color. For those things too, then
Yeah.
it stands out a little bit better.
these are probably a little archaic, but it's the best we got.
Yeah.
These budget sheets. They can probably do some updating, but I don't know who's gonna do it, so.
I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. Oh my God, you got enough to do.
I like black and white. See the budget.
So, I projected the fire overtime is gonna be at like 450. But I think, I think that you may be able to cover some of that with his other, with his regular payroll budget, but
Yeah.
not all of it. So. I
Some
think
of it is
that's.
the regular payroll budget because we have
Mhm.
people who have left, who are making higher salaries and
Sure.
having different benefits, and we have, you know,
Right,
I came up with 400, but I took into consideration that we may get paid back something for our workers' comp for young. And we did receive some payments for workers' comp, so really, on paper, the way that we have it, you went reflected, but in actuality,
Yeah.
it would, because we're paying him. You know, we have a line item for him and a separate line item. Yeah.
true.
but we, you know, the payment that we've gotten already wasn't for him, that's for other. But,
Hopefully we get it.
yeah, we will, we'll get something, but,
Yeah, I asked Miranda to follow up today and she sent an email, so hopefully we'll get a response.
and I have a meeting next Thursday, self-insurance meeting next Thursday, and I'll ask when I go. Speaking of Young, he may be coming back. I spoke with him a couple of weeks ago, just to, you know, get a timeline to see how he was doing, and so there's still, you know, a chance. I mean, he could be coming back. And that will help with the overtime too.
Oh, yeah, we fill a shift with complete overtime. I mean, and we're paying for 18 anyways and only using 17. So every shift that he has is all
Exactly.
overtime.
It is. Right.
I don't know how we could send all three of the recruits, and you know, I know that we have time restraints, but that's $70,000. I'm too looking at 400,000 over, and I know we don't want to carry it into the next year's budget, and you know, we probably have to, you know, bite the bullet at some point, but I'm looking at, you know, that we have to increase next year 500 just to be on, you know, the same playing field as we were this year.
500 what?
1,000
For what?
for our general fund. You know, to replace to where we were. Because we used a lot of, you know, money last year unless we, you know, just keep carrying it over. If we're over.
Specifically with,
With the fire and I mean, all of them really, you know, we're not really over any place else. We are a little bit in our social security. And how is our social security looks like we're gonna be a little over, and then medical looks pretty good. Unemployment stable.
so we did anticipate a lot of overtime within the fire department when this board decided to reduce the staffing to 16. I remember having this conversation with the board because that's a minimum staffing. So if you have, according to union contract, you have 4 per platoon, 4 platoons. And so therefore, if anyone gets sick, takes a day off, leaves, that's going to cause, you know, overtime. So we did have that discussion, and I don't have my notes on me, but 400 sounds about what we were thinking it was going to be in overtime.
Right, so I guess that begs the question though, why is it that we're 300 calls over? I mean, I think the understanding when we reduced the staffing to 16 was that there was going to be some sort of adjustment in the way calls were handled and the way things were scheduled, and it doesn't appear that any of that was done. I mean, the mere fact that we're 300 calls over when you know the overtime is, you know, out of the ballpark, and they're reportedly understaffed and working with, how is it that we're handling 300 calls more? I mean, it seems like it would make more sense to cut down on the number of calls that you're answering if you don't have the staff, and not just jam it all into overtime.
No, I look at it a different way. I'm thinking that the overtime, and we can get confirmation from the chief, the overtime is from most of the overtime is from keeping the staff at the minimum amount per platoon, because we've been short-staffed. We were down to 11 people for a while there. And now we're getting back up. So they're still taking the calls, and they're taking even more calls, which is what you want to do, because that's bringing in more revenue. So if we're at the existing, if the existing staff, if they're taking on more calls, and I know Chief Cooley is taking calls himself, a lot of calls and working shifts. So we're pulling in more revenue with this minimal staff.
Well, you're not pulling in the revenue because you're gonna be spending it on the overtime. So, and the other point that I think that Chief Cooley might not be aware of is that he's been given a budget and he needs to operate within that budget that he's been given. That's his job. So I don't understand the 300 calls over. I do understand it. I mean, you just pretty much said it, and that was my thought, was that they were looking to increase revenue, and they did. But at a cost, at a cost. And at some point, we're going to be looking at this sheet, probably the very next quarter, we're going to be looking at this sheet, and those unexpended numbers are going to be in the negative. And they can't be without some sort of budget adjustment. And so it's one thing to make a budget adjustment for a couple $100 here and there and take it out of contingency, but we're talking big money here.
But
There's going to be nowhere to take it.
I think we're on opposite. We're not thinking still in the same way. I'm not saying they're calling in extra people to take extra calls. They're maintaining the staffing according to their contract, 4 per platoon. I don't think they're calling in. I mean, I'll find out, but I don't think they're calling in additional staff to take additional calls.
Well, where's the 300 additional calls coming from then? I mean, that's quite a few. I mean, I looked back over the past few years, and we generally take in it's 2,500 is the average amount of calls.
They're working 24/7. I mean, and that was one of discussion with this board. And, you know, we've taken some heat from the public sometimes. So what do they do during their downtime? You know, they're taking more calls. There's more of a need for them.
Well,
But I still don't think they're calling in extra people to take more calls. They're just maintaining a staff.
So the other thing is that
Well, I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt before we get away from that. If overlapping calls come in, then they do by contract bring somebody else additional in. One person has to be back there ready to respond.
Yes.
So if the calls are running overlapping, yes, they should be calling someone in. I just didn't want to lose that
Right. And
piece there.
that's a good
So
point. But we
if-
need to know how much, how many times that's happening.
right,
Yes.
if there were a lot of overlapping calls, if a lot of those 300 additional calls were overlapping, then yeah, that should be generating the overtime based on the way we're structured now, yeah. Sorry, Deb, I didn't want to cut you off. I just wanted to get that piece in there.
That's okay. It's just,
Yeah.
I think my point is that something's not working. This is not working. And we've had 21 employees for 4 years, and our overtime was 140,
Right.
160. Last year it was 168. And then, you know, in the 4 years prior, you're talking 14 or 15 employees, and your overtime, same calls, mind you. Your overtime was 60 or 90. I
Yeah.
mean, not to the degree that we are at now. So something is not computing.
Is there,
A big something too. It's not
Right.
just
and
some
of
little
this, I think,
anomaly.
will probably predate me, but the contract that we signed in 2023 had the same provision in it to bring somebody back to the station. Like none of that changed for the 2023 contract. So if the call volume was similar up until this point when we had this extra 300, if the call volume has been similar, then maybe we need to look at what times the calls are coming in.
Well,
Or
we get them emailed to us every
Right.
week and I do go through them. And so when you look at them, right, so it's not the calling, so when you're looking at it, 5 hours, 2.8, 4.8, 2.4, 6, 2, 6, 3, so when we go through these overtime reports that I look at them weekly. So I can tell you, the 7.8 wasn't, he's filling a shift at 7.8. So they're just, the pages are full of the, I'm not seeing, here's a 12, but, most of them are generally, and you can pinpoint the fires, the dates, Stone Road, 104, whatever. That's our mutual aid. But when I look at them, I got a majority of what I'm seeing is in line with what Debbie is saying with the majority of them are, extra personnel coming to coming in. And, so the minimum of the 16 and, to put us back to the 20 and like what we talked about, putting 5 men on a platoon is 4 more men, which is another $500,000 a year. 4 firefighters cost us roughly $500,000. They're 125 a piece. So I don't know where that blend is. So.
but depending on how much time off each of these people have, now we're positive that every single time somebody takes a day off, it's covered by overtime.
Yes, at 14.
But
Correct,
that's
correct.
less days than 365.
Yeah,
So I
but-
think you'd want to know.
Yeah, but when you're looking at them, you can see the days because even in their rotation, 16 isn't minimum. If we count the blocks, like we did, 16 isn't minimum. 16, is there going to be anomalies? Yeah, but
Well, when you say 16 isn't minimal, what does that mean?
it's not. We can still cover with minimal overtime. The majority of our overtime it's right here. It's it's the call-ins. It's not, don't get me wrong, we have a lot of them on here because we were down one, from Young being off. Obviously, every single shift for him is an overtime shift. But when we're looking at these lists that, they're, a few hours here and there, unless they're splitting the shift, with 3, 4 guys like on the same date.
Which, if it's 8 hours, they probably should be, right? So the 24
Yeah,
hours
yeah.
there.
But, on the, just pick a date, there's 5 different people coming in at, we don't log that time.
So how do we know if they've been caught up in a transfer?
Right,
they
right.
didn't get back?
Right, we don't
Like
know.
I'm thinking the 2.80, who knows?
Right,
If you get stuck in the
right,
triage unit
I
with a
wasn't-
patient,
I
we
wasn't,
don't know that.
I'm not going into asking them. I'm just saying, me and, like common sense would say, well, if it's 2.8 hours, it was, overlapping or it was a call. So, because they were gone, they had to come in early to cover. I'm just looking at the reports, what they are.
But we were with overtime. We had people leave, give 2 weeks notice and leave.
Yeah,
And that's why
yeah.
we have been struggling
Oh, yeah.
to get back to at least the staff of 16.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just Young's absence that was causing overtime
Oh, no.
for 48 hours
That-
a week. There were
that number is up.
Still.
That number is, you're right. That number is up there. We're at 17 and now we're currently at 8. We're at 18 with Young. So we have 17, including our chief. So we're at 6, but
16 plus.
yeah, even though that we're not, and the recruits, my understanding, the only thing that they can't do is go into an interior fire. They can do everything else for us, so they're not causing us overtime, we're just, if they're in their hometown, they can go to a interior fire, but not being a career fireman, not having a 229.
So if those, because I'm with overtime up, it looks like all the recent overtime was 2, 3 hours,
Yeah.
4 hours. So if we're thinking those are call-in, which it would be helpful to know that, but between that and hearing Deb say that it's important to take less calls, how would we be able to roll that out?
I think that's up to the chief. Yeah,
Okay,
that's not my, I don't think I need to be working that out.
you're right. I get you. I just didn't know if you already had like a,
No, I do not.
okay.
That is above my pay grade. And I just want to add to that, so like when you're looking at the hours of overtime, so like if somebody gets 2.4 on here, you have to add it to the other, like you have, because it's split.
It's 2020.
Right, so it's 2.4, 2.4, 7.2 would be actually 12.
Yeah,
I mean, just, just throwing it out.
Wait, say that one more time?
So like he's saying, because he was saying like
That's what ambulance
2.8 or
fire.
whatever, well,
Oh.
that's under that account.
oh,
Because
yeah.
they're, so the dollars are split and so are the hours.
Hmm.
So anyways, so
No, I
nobody
totally
went for,
didn't get that. So
Yeah,
that,
I
I'm
didn't,
glad you said that. I
right, so
100%
nobody went
thought-
I
for
do
2.4 hours of overtime, they actually went for 12.
okay.
It was actually 12 hours of overtime.
And if it's a 12, that's how they've been doing their overtime to cover shifts,
Mhm.
with our existing staff, so that they don't
Nobody's
have,
working.
nobody's working
24s
two
and 7
24s.
days.
So
Yeah.
they're not doing 24.
So that's
For the
why
OT.
it's 12.
And, okay, even if it's like their day off, like if they were off.
Yeah,
I
because
think
you're
they're splitting
on 1 and off 3, so we just, I'm assuming they just didn't want to shove 24 into those 3.
Right.
No, that was a phenomenal call, because I just thought they assigned, like, when the person, I don't know, it was important to me.
I didn't know if it was really important, but I thought it might be.
No, I
Yeah.
think it is, because I just thought, like, this day they put it in this account,
It's
this day they put it in
confusing
this
with the
account,
three.
but
It is, because I didn't know that we had them in buildings as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
So
change
when
that
I,
this year,
so when
too.
I
I
tried,
thought we did change
Yeah.
that.
I will this year, I swear.
Okay,
So it'll only be 2 instead of 3?
Right, so
Oh.
maybe 40, 60, I don't know. Yeah, I'll figure that out. 30, 70,
that's great.
30,
I don't know, it's important to me.
30, 70. Is that what you said?
You said.
I didn't know
I
that.
think.
What you break it down as 50/50.
I was just gonna say,
Okay.
I'd like it 100%.
I mean, they definitely answer more
one.
ambulance calls
Yeah,
than
it's
fire
one
calls.
department.
I think it
So-
should be fire, police, actually,
Me too.
it should be Medina ambulance and fire, and that is our budget line. The same people,
But they don't,
same
let-
benefits.
right, they don't work in 2 different departments though.
Right.
They don't change, I'd like to see it in just one.
One.
Even like when we come to like
You're
fig,
gonna reach in as hard.
I
as
know,
you're gonna be
I know,
divided
and I'm
all
sorry,
the
I'm sorry. But when I come to, like retirement for fire and police and they're together, okay, we've got 17 firemen, we've got 11. What's the average, unless you go into their personnel and see, what they get, what we're allocating for each one, same way with health.
But retirement, I now do have to break that down.
Right, we saw that
Yeah.
in this.
Last 2 years I've had to
So, and that ain't,
Yeah,
separate it.
Based on the way the state allocates the accounts, I'm assuming we
Mm-hmm.
can't blend them completely, but 50/50 would probably make your life easier, but it doesn't matter to me. The number's the same no matter how you split it up. But apparently it's easier for me to keep track. It's all on one sheet.
so ambulance, they're over 300,000 and fire's only over 100. So,
Right, it's just because there's
Because of the
six,
percentage.
right,
because
yeah.
it's 60/20/20.
right,
That's why.
but I didn't know that 20 was in, I must have missed it. Like, who the heck in building is spending all this money?
It's our cleaner.
Yeah,
Right, well, because it was part of their duties and I don't know.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
Nope. Where's our contingency fund? Oh, there it is. Oh, so. That we took money out of contingency. Didn't
Yeah, we started at 125.
we? Oh, that's a different entry.
That's why it was like that.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, you took the grant writer out of there
Okay.
and a couple of little miscellaneous.
So at 125, we have 112, 560 left.
The majority of that was like the grant writer.
Well, what does he need to know about the guys in the academy? I mean, we kind of have to make a decision, I feel like.
Yeah.
I mean, unless he wants to make a
Mhm.
decision that we can live with. I didn't
So we
quite
have-
get that he wanted to though, but
I don't think he did.
Right. So we have 3 employees who need to go to the academy, who are bound to go to the academy within a certain time frame. From what I understand, I called him again today just to make sure I understood this. So by not sending them to the academy, we are liable if we choose not to send them to the academy, because to make them wait longer, because they're not getting the mandated training. So
Well,
so let me just finish this thought. So if they still have to go to the academy, so if we don't send them now, we have to send them at the next one, which it's going to have to go in next year's budget. And it's going to, and if something were to happen that they can't go, then they're done. I mean, we can't, that's their last ditch effort. There are places in the academy for them right now. We are getting more ambulance revenues this year. And, just like, what Jada said with MedX, don't plan on that from year to year, but we have more revenues this year. So if we're looking from year to year, I would think that this we would want to be sending them during this budget year, because we're getting some more revenues in from our ambulance, and get them trained. We don't know who else is going to leave. We have no control over anything. So let's just say, once again, here we go. We play this shell game again. Somebody else leaves and we have to hire more employees. We could have to send 5 people to the academy next year. You don't know what's going to happen. So I would like the board to consider that. And as we discuss this, and, they're prepared to go, and we probably will have the funds by the end of this budget year to send them.
I understand the liability, but they do give us a time frame for a reason. I don't think they give you a time, you have 18 months or whatever that time was. I'm like, yeah, they need to go, but us as a board, should we decide when, should it be 2, 3? I don't want to send 3 when we're at, 16 men staff and 17 and Young's out, and then they're just 3 down the whole time of the academy. Would they rather, be at 2 and then 1? And I hate to be the person that didn't go in this round, should we, divide it up? I don't know. I mean, it wasn't budgeted for we're over budget this year. We'll, I guess we'll have to make that up next year, or we can put it in next year. We're going to have to tighten that up next year, but I don't know what that, like that. I think that we would all have to think about, are we going to burn someone out? Because there'll obviously be some overtime with 3 of them. I mean, they can work a full shift as anyone. We're taking, 3 of the platoons, we're taking a guy away. Yes.
it just doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, it's just not even fiscally responsible. I mean, if my bank account is already in the hole, I'm not, I mean, I don't know. Just doesn't compute to me. So, especially when we can wait until next budget year and and when you're already over, already over so much, and we are already over so much, and it's like, I mean, we're just projecting a figure. We don't really know how much it's gonna be
There's
end
so
up
many
going.
moving parts,
We have
so
like
many.
5 more months to go, and, I,
But it could work the other way too. I mean, we're in the hole, but not as a whole. And, we're in the HOLE, but as a WHOLE, we're doing much better this year with our budget.
well, that remains to be seen when, at the end of the year though, so, I mean, it looks good as the end of last year. I mean, this 2025 looks great. We've increased our fund balance in all three of our funds. I love it, but I don't know, when we have two of our biggest departments that are already over, that's, I've never seen that. Just tell you right off.
Just don't forget, the fire department is over due to what this board did with the budget.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's why.
We all voted for that, and,
Well,
Yep.
it was a majority vote.
it was.
We discussed this during our budget meeting, as to what would happen. So,
Right. Yeah. It's true.
I don't know if, I'm looking at Steve's OT figure here, and he did the median, which could be correct, but we have a lot more, like 1 to 3 people, I think, than we have. Like, he just picked the median
Right, so
number.
I don't know how we picked that either.
Well, I think he just, added it up and divided by the, yeah. But I think actually, let me see how many, I don't know if we should, but maybe,
Yeah.
Well, are the three, did we hire the three at step one? I don't recall. Did we hire them
the
at
2
step four
transfers
and
came
step
in
five?
the transfers came in 3 and 5 or 4 and 5.
Yeah, so that's why
So the-
he's using those figures.
so the 3 new ones were at step 1. And then we have one who was also at step 1. And then the
One was
last
at
2 we
3 and the
hired.
one was at 5.
Yes, the last 2
Yeah, the 2
we hired.
transfers.
Correct.
So I'm reading his email. So it's our online, what does that mean? Assuming 2 are online by March 1st.
The new
So,
ones. So he was trying to fit this in today, and Integrate was working on his computer, and he felt pressured to put numbers out. So that's why he did the median. He tried to keep it simple.
well, I'm just trying to follow. Are they even gonna be available? I mean, what does this mean online by March 1st? Because when does the academy start?
In February.
In February, right, from February 8th to the week ending May 24th. So is one of them or 2 of them even gonna be ready to go February 8th? This is what I'm getting at, unless I'm not understanding this email.
Did he say when the next academy is?
It's in July.
But it
This
was-
year.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it was here.
Plenty of time to register.
Huh?
Oh, yeah.
You have to
That's not what we're
pre-register.
talking about.
Yeah,
Yes.
you pre-register for academies.
Right,
Right, and that's,
That's how they fill the seats.
Right.
Pre-register.
Yeah, we are pre-registered.
Did we pay a fee to pre-register? How'd that work?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if we have any money down.
so, and the other thing, and looking back at things that he has said, you have to keep in mind also that come July, August are when people are taking their vacations too. Fire department. So like, it's winter, February, March, April.
Does they have a policy in the fire department about how many people can take vacation at what time?
Yeah, they do. I don't know if I have a copy of it, but when we went through the contract, that was one of the things that came up.
That it's how much, I know the police have that in there, but obviously, say the fire department has that too, so.
Yeah, I
So
don't,
many people can't go
I don't think I've ever had a digital copy of it, but yeah, there is a policy.
Then Cooley did, just looking back from the emails again, he did say that there is someone else who's interested in transferring that would relieve some of the overtime from the Lockport Fire Department, if the board wanted to bring him on.
That would put us at 19.
So 18 with plus the chief.
Counting young, right?
Counting,
Yeah.
yeah. Once again, Shelby. It's like I have to predict.
Wow, I did all the math and shaved $600 off that number, so I guess the ballpark's fine.
Mhm.
Good job, Jeff.
Jason seems to be staying in budget pretty well. I don't understand how we're not having any overtime with all this snow removal.
Will you just stop talking right now?
I'm
Every
looking
time
at
there's
it.
a snowstorm, I'll be like,
Well, I think they've handled it pretty well. I mean, I look at their overtime hours too.
say that.
Because they can comp. They have the choice to either.
Oh,
So that's why you're seeing a little bit of a.
I'm like, boy, they're doing great.
I'm thinking here we're on the verge of another big snowstorm, and I'm thinking,
It's only
don't
gonna
say
be-
that.
Over the weekend, it doesn't matter as long as nobody goes out. We don't have,
So
we'll
here's,
get come back Monday.
that's right. So here's a
Yeah.
fact for the day. That the snow plows, it takes them 3, almost 4 hours to go, with 6 plows going to go through the entire village. So if you see a plow go by your house, you expect another plow to go by in about 4 hours in a bad snowstorm. Because we had some people complaining about the snow on the roads, but given the staff that we have and the plows that we have, you expect another 4 hours before you'll see someone go by your house again. Bet you didn't know that, did you?
I didn't know that, but I volunteer to drive.
Might have to take you up on
Absolutely.
that. You mow?
You mow.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
You go with it.
Oh, dear. All the other accounts looked good, I thought.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna bring up. I was looking through everything else. I mean, we had a very, very tight budget. Seems to be doing good.
We do, yeah. I think we have some escalation costs are gonna kick in next year.
Mhm. What do you think? What do
So
you think?
Deb doesn't want to send anyone, if I'm hearing correctly, you don't want any of the 3 to go to the academy, correct?
Yeah, I don't think it's
Okay.
very responsible.
I'm
but-
thinking that it's most responsible to do it now because we have more more money coming in and it looks like we're probably going to be okay at the end of this budget and let's get them trained and get them on. I've heard Scott say maybe not send them all, right? Is that what I heard correctly, Scott? At once.
Yeah.
Jess, what am I?
I feel like I don't have enough information to make a decision here because I don't know. Like, okay, so I'm looking at the 76,000 that it could cost in overtime, right? Is that what he said, 76? Yeah. So I'm looking at the 76,000 that it could cost us in overtime, and it seems to me like the obvious choice would be to not spend the overtime if it has an option. The flip side of that is I don't know what the ramifications, so to speak, of bringing somebody on and not sending them. Like, I just don't feel prepared to answer that. And then I also don't know if, like, it would be interesting to project out what the cost would be if we did this during those peak vacation times. Like, are we going to find ourselves when the next one we can send them, if we legally can hold them back and then send them later, would it cost us more down the road, but in a different budget? And is that a decision that we want to make because we can budget for it? Or is that a decision we'd rather, I mean, I don't think it's reasonable to expect a full contingency. Like, I don't think we have that going on for $76,000. But should we be looking for another spot in the budget to pull from to make it happen this year, or make part of it happen this year, or whatever? If we, like, I just don't feel like we have enough information for me to feel comfortable making a decision. I see why it's an attractive option. I just don't know if I know everything I would need to know.
Can we get that information by Monday night? Possibly.
I mean, Steve works Monday, right?
He does.
Yeah, I could probably meet with Steve on Monday,
Get some additional information.
or somebody else can. Like, it doesn't have to be me.
Discussion.
But
And if Young came back too, it would alleviate one whole spot of, he's out now. June, he might be back, and then we'd only be looking at, and they're big.
Fall next year, and with, a few of them are hospitalization, 60, like our retirement, our hospitalization, and where we're gonna be, and, purchase that we, might potentially make. I'm just looking at it, I don't want to be sitting here next year. I know for sure that Jess and I'll be sitting here, and we don't want to be explaining to 3 other people how we got to, so I'm just looking at it from my own point of view. Might be just you and I, Jess. So I'm
Could
just,
be.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Either we do better right now, or Jess and I have to, with a new mayor and new board members or whoever it may be, what we have to present as a budget next year. I kind of have it figured out where I think that we would be with I've gone over with Jada. I think my numbers are pretty close. So next year doesn't look any better than this year, in that number. I know where we are with that overtime, but those 4 employees, no matter how we look at it over there, it's $500,000, like when you explain to them that, well, I don't make that much, but you do, because your medical is this, your retirement is this, your social security is this, your workers' comp is this, your unemployment insurance is this, the liability of you being like it's.
Well, not the liability.
No, I'm saying when we take them, that's another liability that we hit. Yeah,
Expense.
yeah.
Expense. So if you're looking into next year,
Mhm.
you would prefer rather than to roll something like this into the next budget, which you are already concerned about, I'm concerned too. Why not take care of it this year? And then you don't have to roll it in, or you and Jess don't have to roll it in.
Right. Well, I'm
Next year.
looking at it, and that I'm just gonna throw it out there. So this ladder truck. So if we do the right thing moving forward and we equip them over there, well, we're talking, that's an expenditure of $100,000 a year. It's a depreciable asset of $2 million. It's $100,000 a year. If we're not putting $100,000 a year away for our next ladder truck, we're just gonna be in trouble. And if we're not if our fire station is in that dire of need, you're looking at $5-6 million. That add on that flyer, that's a $15 million get. The station and this fire truck it's $5 million. It's 4.8.
But I know what you're saying. I know where you're coming from.
But that all aside, I'm looking at next year for us just to maintain where we are, buying nothing, 13% increase.
Well,
And I think I'm real close. And that's buying nothing. That's us keeping the lights on, and we hope another furnace doesn't break because we already have 4 broken. So,
okay, so let's redirect here. Let's get some more information about what we would project for next year versus this year for sending these gentlemen to the academy. And then we'll discuss it again on Monday.
thanks for bursting my bubble on the comp time for the guys over. I'll let those guys. And it's probably not that bad. I mean, the streets are pretty clean.
Well, I think just from all of our employees are just, I've been on this board, they are just going above and beyond, all of them, in every single department. They're working very, very hard. And I appreciate that. I hope everyone has noticed, like you say, the streets are clean, you know, they're attending the things that come through this office where the DPW has to drop what they're doing to handle. I mean, everyone's doing a very, very good job. Appreciate that.
I did buy the old sidewalk plow so Dave can
Did
clean
you?
the sidewalks.
There you go. And
It's got his own snow blower. It's got a cab. We got to wait for him. He's got to get the hat on. It's going to be
Jade
great.
and I were thinking of doing the playground equipment. It went for $1,000. I couldn't have afforded $1,000 for it. I wanted that circular thing.
You can come play on it at my house.
Did you buy it?
Yeah.
Did you really?
Mhm.
You bought it?
Yeah.
You have the snail too?
Yeah.
Come on.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
how I heard of Scott was the snail.
That is awesome.
Well, I like the plow. I said when I come down to the village offices, I'm just going to plow my way down and get a cup
There
of
you
coffee.
go. I'm waiting on Gwynn Street, the equipment there to come. I'm gonna bid on that one. We do Gwynn Street. That has more memories for me.
I bought the optics too because I was in Tonawanda and I thought and somebody kept bidding that merry-go-round up. So I'm like sitting there and I'm like, how dare them? And I pull over and my wife was like, what are you doing? And I hit, like quit bid. So I ended up buying the optics from the fire department as well.
Thank you for donating back to the cause.
Yeah,
That's what you
yeah.
did.
Well-
You donated back to the village.
Well, that's what I asked Jason. I go, somebody need it, fire department, I'll just donate it to them. I'm like, am I gonna ride around with these optics to go into a fires with?
It's like me Black Friday.
I know.
I just kind of start picking up the deals. Take them back. Right, John? Yeah.
Boxes just show up.
Okay, anything else for the good of the order?
Yeah. I want to try to find it in the election law real quick. I should have bookmarked it, but I want to propose on Monday. So I want you guys to have time to think about it, but I wasn't thinking that would have to be done this soon, but it makes sense. I would like to propose on Monday that we move the village elections of the future to June
Yeah,
But to do that, we have to have it added to the ballot. Like we need the residents to accept that. I think it's like I think the worst thing it could be to a resident is neutral, but it's a game changer for a board member. And I'll be prepared on Monday to explain why I think that's important. But to bring new board members on after the budget is finalized and give them time to get their feet under them before the first thing they have to do is try to guess how this job is going to look over the course of 12 months. And now that I'm never going to be petitioning to be on a village board again, wouldn't it be fun not to do that in 8 inches of snow?
Yeah.
So for the next guys, it would be so cool to have a June election.
Didn't we vote on that we were gonna do that?
We talked
We
about it, but
did.
we have to have a resolution in January to get it on the
Hmm.
ballot in March. And I can't find the,
oh, we even,
I think I asked about that. I'll see in my notes if I have something.
we put more money into our election budget in case we had to have a special.
a permissive
election to do
referendum.
that. And
Yeah.
we never used that. And I was just talking with someone about that today. I said, we planned on doing that this year and here we are and we never did it. Move that election.
Well, so
on
the
ballot.
thought
Now
process
it's
was to,
on.
if we were going to have, because at that point we were talking a lot about whether or not we would be able to sustain the department. So my thought was I wasn't going to call for a permissive referendum and then or a mandatory referendum and then potentially have a second one during the year. So if we had one during the year, we would want to add it to that ballot. We didn't have one, so we can add it to the general ballot. As long as everybody still thinks that's
Oh,
a fine idea.
100% for it. You weren't in the beginning until you processed.
She had to process it.
Yeah.
It'll be another change.
And, oh, there was one other question. Oh, so for Monday's meeting, the triennial people are coming back. They want to say something to the board. So they reached out to me yesterday and said, can we talk before the board discusses it? And I said, absolutely. So they're going to talk about the placement of their art pieces. And then Deb, I was going back through my emails today and I saw that you didn't understand about the picnic tables. Does anybody else have a question about those? I called Matt about that, and Lions Park is currently Canal Corporation property. But because they want to replace 2 of the picnic tables that the Lions Club maintains that property, even though it's still their property, we have to accept those picnic tables to be replaced. And eventually, the Canal Corporation has discussed possibly turning that property, once the canal basin, once the $10 million project is done, they would like to turn it over to the village because we maintain it anyways. But that's not going to happen for a while until the project is done. And Matt was involved in a preliminary conference call at one time over when they decided they potentially want to turn that property over to us. But we do have to formally accept those.
So we're not buying them.
Oh, we're not
Yeah,
buying them,
okay,
not at
all
that
right. I was
price.
like,
I don't know where that price came from, but we just have to accept the donation.
Okay, so yeah, I found that little thing here and it just says, a proposition changing the date of the general village election shall not become effective until the next election regularly scheduled to be held more than 120 days following its adoption. So we would not vote in March to move that same election to June. It would be the next one. And that, oh, but if you did it in the middle of the year, it wouldn't be for the upcoming election if the upcoming election was within 120 days. And then it says, upon the adoption of such a proposition, the term of any village officer elected at the election at which such proposition is adopted, or less than 121 days thereafter, and the term of any village officer whose successor is scheduled to be selected more than 120 days thereafter, shall be extended until the date fixed as a result of such proposition for his successor to take office. If I read that correctly, that means whoever gets elected this time, should this pass, they would hold over until June. And now that I'm saying that out loud, I just realized that would also mean we would hold over until June. Huh.
Jada's got to figure, Jada's got to
What, do
figure
we
out
get a
that
quarter
pay.
pay for that?
Yeah,
Yes,
you get, I
yes.
don't know.
Huh.
Mhm.
I don't know.
It's right where your head went.
Yeah. Increase my average annual salary.
There you go.
$800.
Little boost to social security, yep.
Good idea.
Change your mind.
I wish I would have realized that before right now.
Too late,
Why?
Jess. We need to do this for the betterment of.
It's
the-
for anybody who has
Really
knocked a door
is.
in February, it is time to move these to June. That way you could talk about something besides plowing. It'll be so fun. Is there anybody who wants me to like look at anything specific before Monday so that, because if I can't Google it quick on the fly, I might want time to absorb it. So if you,
Maybe we could send that piece to Jada to post on the website, that page.
Yeah.
We're gonna discuss it.
So,
like if we're going to discuss this portion of the law, you can, I mean, you could link to the 986 pages of law, but I'll just send you this section. Okay.
Are we voting on the placement of the?
that's what I want to get back to.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, that was it. I was
just
just single check mind.
We don't have to, I mean, we have to discuss them, that's on the agenda. They want to talk about it first, and so if we're prepared, we should, but if you're not prepared, the biggest one is the one with the guy with doing the UT
James,
class.
and
James.
I spoke to him again the other day. And so a few people that were against the location of it, I said, well, put a marker out where you think it would be, like more, and at the end of the day, I don't think anybody wants it. Well, I can't say anybody.
We're talking about Gulf Street.
Yes.
No, I have a new idea. I have these ideas in the middle of the night when I wake up. I looked at your property line
Yeah,
by
let's put it
Crowell
right there. It'd
Automotive.
be awesome.
It goes right up to Glenwood Avenue, and I was thinking those pillars would look really, really nice, and you would love weed
Yep.
whacking around them.
Mhm. Dave will come do it.
But Dave will do
Said
it,
he
and he'll
wouldn't do it.
plow around
Yep.
them.
I've already got his volunteer sheet.
Seriously, those would be really pretty from the canal, right on your, you've got a nice piece of property there. I didn't realize you went all the way to
Dave said
Glenwood.
he wouldn't do it.
Oh. But they didn't come to you to ask about that?
They did.
Oh,
They
okay.
never came back.
Yeah.
Jada was busy when they come. And I think my wife shooed them out because Jada is teaching my wife how to, run that office.
Oh, okay. But they would look pretty up on that canal by that tree on your side.
We only have to commit to 3 months. And,
Yeah.
in
3 months.
the location, James was worried about it being that low and, him being able to get in there with it wet the time of year. So he wasn't sold on that area either. And he was talking about a placement at the school. Now, I don't know if he talked to the school. I haven't heard anything of that. And my recommendation was, if it's going to stay someplace, it might be nice in State Street because it is nice, and there's, but I'm not speaking for any other park. I'm not
Well, let's talk about it with them. They're going to give us some additional information, and in the meantime, we can't in the snow go around and look, but
the cones are out there.
they're still out there.
Yeah, I don't know. My wife said that she went by and she didn't see them, but I don't know what that was about. Maybe I don't see Matt going out there and taking them out.
Yeah, I'll have to go by and look at the comments. I knew that Jason was putting them out there for them.
Oh, Jason put them out there?
Jason dropped them off for them. I
Oh,
didn't
yeah,
drop them
yeah,
off,
okay.
And then they were going to place them. So we'll discuss it some more. Okay. I got a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay, by Marciano. Second. By Scataloski, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Dave?
Just a quick question.
No, we're not gonna pay you to plow.
No. This is something that I didn't even really think about until a few village residents brought it to my attention, and I go, you're absolutely right. The responsibility the village has for the high bridge over by the American Legion that the village owns,
Mhm.
we own.
Mhm.
Is there anything in place in case something happens to that bridge that we're gonna be able to repair it? And reason that resident and some others and myself are thinking now ahead of time, God forbid, our lift bridge goes out, like the one in Albion or Brockport, for a year and a half or 2 years. How are we gonna get a piece of fire equipment, an ambulance, or a police car on the other side of town, across the canal? So just some food for thought.
And believe me, that has been on my radar. I didn't
That's-
realize that
You're
that was
talking about
ours
tens of
until 2
millions of
years
dollars.
ago. Oh, yeah. And who accepted it? I would like to, who accepted that,
I don't remember who.
that bridge?
What are you gonna do? Shake them down?
No, but I'm thinking, what would
I'm
be
going
the
to get 'em.
reason where they'd say, hey, Medina, we want to give you this old high bridge. And we'd say, well, thank you. Like Lions Park is different because we maintain that anyways.
And we don't own it. It's canal property that we maintain.
I didn't know.
I did that. I knew that.
You didn't know we owned that bridge?
No.
A lot of people didn't know
We
that.
did
I
that.
mean, even the painting, Jason and I have had discussions, even to paint the bridge. We don't paint bridges. We would have to hire to have that bridge painted. And to maintain it, and it needs to be checked.
So-
and-
My thought about that, because this has been on my mind as well, and I hear what you're saying about fire equipment, and I do recognize that it's not the quickest way, but there is that Horan Road Bridge that also covers the canal, that it's not as quick as having this main north, the one that's off by the Legion there. It would take extra time if that lift bridge was out
Extra
to go
time.
around, for sure.
Up all the way
But-
across State
And-
Road and
And
down.
neither one of them
For
bridges
sure,
are
but-
really a good way to try to make a quick right or quick left.
That's a good point.
It's a tight turn, no matter what bridge you go over.
I'm not gonna make that
A
turn.
long truck. I'm just basically talking about a smaller truck. I'm not talking about a ladder truck or anything else, but basically an ambulance or a
Mhm.
rescue truck or something to get there in time. I mean, God forbid if that ever happened and something happened over by your house, your business,
Well,
then they gotta go all the way
that
around.
lift bridge was out a few years ago for maintenance and people were using that bridge heavily. And I don't know how many times tractor trailers have got stuck up on top. They weren't supposed to be up in there. It's hard to make that turn.
Which turn, Deb?
Coming off of that
Even
bridge.
coming off State Street on Horn Road.
I just, like, I'm looking at the map though, I don't know how they would ever respond to anything over there without using that bridge, so they must,
Yeah.
right?
If you go straight down to, what's that, Pleasant there,
Yeah.
you know, but not making that,
Right.
But that's still,
going around the block.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, but I mean, they must have to respond
Yeah.
over there, that's village property, like, they're probably over there, one of our firefighters lives over there, like, I'm sure they know how to.
I don't recall anything happening over there. A lot of- Well, that one house on the corner.
I believe that,
1996.
Yeah. I believe at the time, the state was looking to, because it was so disrepair, to pull it out. And that's why I think the mayor and the board at that time is like, well,
Like fruit out.
we
Well, here I
want
am, ready
that
to pull it
bridge to- You want to keep, if I remember right, you were there. I do remember that.
You got one? Right. And
Yeah,
You
I
got one?
remember that, because I was
Right.
like, and then the village didn't want
Well, I
them
have
to
that line
close it,
now.
because they were closing out
I don't want
bridges.
more bridge.
Just
No.
taking them out.
We can't have it, then we'll close it. We kept it this many more years, right?
When did they,
Wow.
Well, if we have to close it, we'll get some torches out there and haul the stuff to the scrapyard.
I'm in. I got a little wagon.
Canal with the shopping carts. We didn't do it.
A company that used to sandblast on bridges, you'll remember, Mark, used to trade with me when I had the garage on East Center where Matt London is. I could not believe the amount of sand and the tarps and the screens they had to use to catch the sand. The time it took just the sandblast and then the time the primer and then they had to
Remember the
paint.
lawsuits they had when they
I
painted?
don't even know how much that
bridges?
cost for each
Remember
bridge
that
that they were doing.
They were
at the
getting
time.
overspray on all
God,
the
they were
cars,
doing
the motors and all the
with me.
buildings, our building.
By
was top of the
thousands of dollars.
That's all I can remember.
The green
Painting
thing.
it. It was
We'll
really
put
cheap
that,
when they
we'll put
painted
that on
it.
your list of things to
They
do
were-
too.
they were painting another way day.
I'll
Yeah,
start a
vehicles.
GoFundMe
Yeah.
account. How about a GoFundMe for the bridge?
Can't do it from the municipality, but you can do it.
And then donate it
Hey,
to
well,
us.
yeah, the Legion.
So
do it.
we took it in
Something
'96.
people ask and then
Yeah.
it jarred my memory and I'm going, oh boy.
Or was the superintendent?
Congratulations.
Who's the superintendent?
I mean, I think Fruit, I think Fruit Ave came down in like 84, 83.
I miss that bridge so much.
Those, you know, the residents down there, I mean, that was tough. Yeah, it was 84, 83, wasn't it? It was still up for a couple of years.
What? I'm sorry.
The
Fruit Ave Bridge.
Oh.
And then the Shelby
Shelby
Basin,
Over the-
going over that wooden, yeah, I was like, holy, yeah.
I hated that.
I miss the Sour Springs Road Bridge.
Oh, yeah.
Through the slumps. Can't cut through the
I'm guilty.
Can on your snowmobile.
field anymore. Yeah, your snowmobiles, you can.
It will be in about an hour.
So Mark, how we're off record, if they put them pillars on your property, I'll come over and
We're
trim
good.
them.
Oh,
See?
What a guy.
I'll take mine.
Was that, did we adjourn or we,
Yeah,
we did, didn't we?
Hey, anybody here's not doing anything tomorrow, we're having spaghetti and meatballs at the
Spaghetti and
VFW,
meatballs.
and they're all handmade stuff.
Yeah, I
It's
saw
not
that. I was gonna ask
frozen
you,
meatballs.
you don't have to be a member to come to. the
No, you
spaghetti
can
dinner
sign in,
tomorrow?
on the registered book by the door,
Okay,
and I'm gonna put on there spaghetti dinner, my name, be my guest. So you're signing in as my guest.
okay. Spaghetti dinner tomorrow night. I'm probably gonna be there. I was
There you
gonna
go.
ask
Hey.
What time is that?
Happy to see you.
5 to 7.
5 to 7.
So chairs.
Or spaghetti and meatballs.
Me too.
Well, they were making the meatballs today, and I'm going,
Chairs
holy
were-
man, they made them big.
They were facing the table. So one table goes over there.
No, we can wait.
I'll do
for
them.
Oh, sorry, let me get out of the
this. Oh,
way.
you're okay. And,
Well, she could just grab the table and move her too.
just slide her stuff ahead, where it was, and then.
Bring it
all
with
you
me.
have to do is carry this over there. Remember how they got?
Yeah. they're right. And then I think the chairs were.
This one, all the way around.
Chairs are usually on this side.
Yeah. You been to court?
Has Debbie been in court?
I lived there for too many years.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And then that one goes with the jury.